Today's discussion is about emotions. And emotions is something that's very, very important for me because I'm a person that feels a lot. And I want to tell you how I think about emotions. I have a quote that I say, and it says, that feeling, right? That thing that comes up, our feelings, is the gate portal to emotions. And that's actually very, very important because if you can manage to discover what that emotion is, you can actually discover life, a big thing. Like there's lots of things to discover about life when it comes to emotions. And emotions are very, very important, and you should never undervalue what you're feeling. You need to be alert to listen, right? What those feelings are trying to communicate to you, because the body is giving you a response, and it's our duty to be able to recognize what it's trying to tell us, because it triggers us to allow us to act upon that emotion, and facing that emotion can get you understanding life much more better. And I'll explain more. To many emotionally neglected people, for example, emotions can feel like a burden, right? There's lots of people out there that have a hard time relating to emotions. So it's like a little cover-up, but emotions are very, very crucial in life because emotions have to do with survival. Emotions can serve very things. For example, they can alert us. For example, when we can be getting into danger, they can alert us when we need to run, and they can teach us what is worth to fight for or what it's worth not to fight for, right? It's a big alerting system. And we need to recognize that for every emotion, it serves a purpose. And it's good to start recognizing what your body is trying to tell you. People that have been, let's say, people who are emotionally neglected, for example, they are trained in a way to, how should I say it? They try to erase, right, and even deny or push underground, the feelings, and in some cases, emotions for people can make them feel shameful, right? And that comes at a disadvantage. Because when one is not listening to their emotions, right? How should I say it? When the emotion comes up, it can trigger a sense of vulnerability, which a lot of people are not willing to face. So they try to hide. They try to hide the feeling that they're feeling. They don't want to feel what they're feeling. And the potential to be more productive gets diminished. And by not allowing emotions to come, you cannot live life to the fullest potential. So there's always lacks happening because we keep on suppressing emotions, not expressing our real authentic selves. And when you're not doing that, life comes to teach you a lot of lessons in order to be able to acknowledge your emotions and what you're feeling. And it brings people and circumstances for you to be able to face. But lots of people are not aware of that. So what happens is when you try to avoid and run away from emotions, And a lot of interesting things can happen. So I'll let you know why you shouldn't be ignoring emotions. Some few things that, you know, I can think of. I'm sure there's more, but first and foremost, physically, your body can alert you. So you can be going through like headaches, migraines, backaches, muscle strains, you know, fatigue. Some people get even into worse things. For example, panic attacks, depression, all these sort of diseases that a person can go through. And this comes from the body that is signaling to you that something is not all right, that something needs to go back to balance. Because our bodies are like a mechanical machine. It's so, how should I say? It's always talking to you. Anything that happens within the body, anything that comes up, it's talking to us. It's trying to get us to wake up, that something is happening. Even things, for example, when you're having a hard time going to sleep, even if you have memory problems, even if, you know, you may be lacking a concentration, a person that can be socially isolated, you know, it speaks to you. It speaks to you, something that you've neglected within yourself that needs to be looked upon to. But a lot of people are not willing to go face those depths. Yeah. When you're not facing emotions, it actually drains your energy a lot. It drains your energy a lot. And so that's why lots of times you might be going to places, right? And you don't have energy because there's so much buildup within you with things that you have not processed, and that drains your energy, believe it or not. The suppression of the emotions and the feelings that you're feeling causes, in the future, at any moment, for you to be able to be more explosive as a person. You can just be blowing up for like bullshit in your life, things that don't even make sense, right? And there's a reason why that comes up, because you might be thinking that you might be pissed off at something, right? And you're just like in the moment exploding, but it might not have anything to do with the subject that you're getting pissed off about. And I'll give an example. For example, driving in the car. I say that a lot. Just driving in the car and just somebody pisses you off and you get angry. It's not the actual person that makes you feel angry. It's other emotions and feelings you have about something that you haven't brought to the surface to be able to see what they are and address. And your inner self is trying to reach out to make you become aware, to heal those parts within yourself that need addressing. And withholding emotions and feelings, as you know, it can aggravate anxiety, and it can give a lot of people a lot of panic attacks, you know, and a lot of stress and worry. What else it does, and we're experiencing this in this world, it's everywhere, and people are not aware, is that by not expressing our emotions and our feelings, we're keeping human relations very, very superficial. So our friendships are lacking authenticity, they're lacking depth, because people are not expressing themselves. They don't show who they truly are, how they truly feel. For example, you might have somebody that you're annoyed with, that they do something to you, and you might be in a tendency always to just push it under the rug, and you don't confront the other person about what it is that it's worrying you, you know? And eventually the build up can cause a dis-ease within your own body. For example, somebody that might have like backaches, shoulder pains. Usually shoulder pains show to us that we're carrying a lot of burdens on our shoulders, right? And the same can go with back. with our back. Usually people that have a lot of back problems, it's usually situations where people are getting a lot of responsibilities onto themselves, right? It's kind of like they have a responsibility towards other people, whereas they should be focusing on themselves. So it starts to cause a problem with your back. So you're feeling a lot of pains on your back, right? You're taking other people's burdens and making them your own, right? So that's a buildup, and the body is talking to you that you need to address this. When you're not expressing and you're holding the emotions, what you're actually doing is becoming more empty and more unfulfilled, and it can even lead you to question the purpose and the value of your own life. So if you were a type of person who has been emotionally neglected, and half of the population has been emotionally neglected, right? We all have trouble facing emotions, because even the most expressive people out there there is some form of emotions not being expressed, right? But what it can do, right, when you're suppressing all of this, there will be a difficulty in accepting or even trusting the feelings that you have. There's even more extreme cases where people are just going about life and they're completely unaware, for example, of the existence of these emotions, and as I said before, people push their emotions down because they have a deep-seated notion that feelings may be so bad that their feelings might burden the other person. Some people feel like that, or some even go to extremes, thinking that they're a bad person to be feeling what they're feeling, so they don't express. Our feelings do not really make rational sense, but just learn to understand that they're there for a very good reason, to teach you valuable things about yourself. I hope that helps.